So yeah, from what we just said, what we just spoke about, like, usually, like, you have to go out of your community, even out of your circle, for other people to acknowledge you, other people, or to see how amazing you are before your own people can, track back, should I say, and say, oh, okay, yeah, you're amazing. Now we rock with you. Like, for you personally, yeah, let's break it down. Why do you think is that? Like, what's the logic
I
behind
think
that?
it's quite. I think it's a normal thing that when you're like such a star
Yeah.
in amongst non-stars,
Mm.
it's hard for non-stars to see stars. You have to be a star to see a star.
I like that one. I like that one. I love that one.
You know, and
Totally.
so
Yeah.
often,
Yeah.
and it's in anything. It's across the board with musicians,
Everything in it. Yeah.
with athletes.
Everywhere.
You know, it's like
In the movie industry.
yeah, they go to any
business,
artist,
yeah.
all of that. They go to another country, they get the acknowledgement.
Mm.
In your own local community, people be hating on you.
Or they'll just be looking at you like you're one of them. Like,
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
him.
they'll be hating on you.
Yeah.
They don't even pay you no mind.
Yeah.
It would take somebody from somewhere else to come and acknowledge you for them to acknowledge you. So, they might be impressed with Beyonce. So Beyonce come and endorse your product or whatever online. Now, all of a sudden, now they appreciate and clapping you because Beyonce's given her blessing.
It's like it's like she's the god, or one of them celebrities. It's like to them, it's like God coming down and giving approval and saying, no, that person.
It's who they're impressed by.
Yeah.
So, if they're impressed by Beyonce, they might be impressed by the Kardashians.
Yeah.
They might be impressed by whoever they find impressive, know. So the minute that somebody else is acknowledging you and they're impressed with who somebody else is, then you'll get the acknowledgement. I mean, I travelled for a lot in my life and I've lived abroad a lot.
Yeah.
And I originally started travelling when I was 19.
Yeah.
And like getting out of East London, right? Yeah. And going travelling at 19.
Yeah.
And then I went to countries and places like a bit off the beaten track sometimes.
Yeah.
And people loved me.
Yeah.
And I got, love that I wouldn't get in my hometown from people that grew up with me.
It's crazy.
I get offered opportunities and jobs and things that I would never get here.
Yeah.
So, that encouraged me to live abroad for a long time, So a whole decade I spent outside of England. Yeah. Because...
So that's why I even understand, that's why the older I get as well, I understand that why certain people move to other countries, why certain people in certain industries, they feel like they need to move, to other environments to in order for them to prosper, in order for them... Because, honestly, I don't know, psychologically, I don't know... I can't put a word to it, but it's like, like we said, we see it happening so many times, and it's like, do you think that's just gonna be part of like a default mindset of humanity, just in general? Like, it will never change?
Well, no, I think it's to do with limited thinking.
Oh,
so you just can't imagine bigger than you've seen.
Yeah.
So if somebody is growing amongst your neighborhood that is bigger, that's got more than anyone in your neighborhood has got.
Yeah.
That person is either going to be killed or hated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they're going to have to leave.
Yeah.
Because they will not be accepted. When you've got so much to offer and there's people that have so little, they might look at you with hate before they look at you with show us how to go, lead, Yeah. Before they give you that, they're gonna make you strange.
Yeah, is that why a lot? I think for me, I feel like that. Anyway, I think that's why a lot of people, like who come from, like the hood. Some people say, and they make it out the hood. I feel like that's why a lot of people don't go back, because like exactly what you just said, because some people hate on them, and sometimes for their life as well. Some people might wanna kill them and stuff like that. So
yeah, some of that, but also I think there's an onus about this getting out of the hood and running away. You know,
Yeah.
there's an onus. Put something in the hood. Don't just run out of the hood, man.
I love it.
You know,
Yeah.
spend some money in that hood
Give
before
back.
you leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give back something there. Start up something there.
I love that as well, by the way.
Yeah, the next generation got something. Don't just run.
Yeah.
And leave
that.
because wherever you run into with your newfound money and your newfound fame, that them people, they don't have you back. Not like them people down there do.
Yeah. That know every little thing about you.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you want to help people in your neighborhood? If you come out of that neighborhood and it took you everything to get yourself out of there, you know how hard it is. Yeah. So why wouldn't you put back your hand to pull through people through with you? You know what I mean?
And even that's another conversation. Maybe you might agree or disagree. Another conversation I was having as well, just in general, of especially basing it off like, you know, people who... Two people, because obviously I love music and I love football. I love the sports industry in general. And I just had this conversation, not longer, even I think last week with somebody, and again, just proper wording my words properly, just saying that for a lot of years, a lot of people have been saying, you know, like community centres in our different areas have been closed down. A lot of areas, kids, that's why they're doing all of these dumb things, because there's not enough in our communities for, you know, kids to express themselves. And I just always got this mentality of like, sometimes you need to give up in terms of like blaming other people and just take it into your own hands. So basically what I mean, we there's a lot of people who come from our communities, yeah, and I feel like from the beginning of their journeys, obviously the community somehow supports them, their music and stuff like that, football stars and stuff like that, you know, they go, they make all of this money, like we just say something similar, but they don't come back. So my thing is like, you know, you got one side that always blame the government. And then my side, I just want to base it off our own people empowering, our own people coming back and giving back. Because I feel like if a lot of them people came back a bit more, like you just said, and they gave back, we don't need to even talk about governments doing this and that. Because our own people who are stars are coming back to help our own people.
Are just starting to make it in this country, right? So when I say, you know, these young people like Akala and, you know, people that, you know, third and fourth generation. Yeah. You know, migrant that is now actually getting doors open for them and making bigger checks. So a lot of my generation, the people above me, they don't have that big wealth. Yeah. Some people manage to get on the housing ladder. Some people, it's a big noose around their neck. You know, some just got a percentage of their house. Some have still got big mortgages that are going to have to work into their 70s to finish paying those mortgages. But yeah, people in their late... black community London in their late 20s, early 30s, they a lot of them have exposure to making real money and making real success. Yeah,
making real change,
Yeah, that before them, we didn't have that opportunity. And maybe few people did, but they either left this country to do it, so they pursued it in America or Africa or somewhere else, but not here.
Not here,
and therefore they're somewhere else enjoying their life. But we need to do more autonomous things. And it's true about the community centres and what there's to do for kids. You know, it's not just blaming the system, it's actually looking at the system. We're meant to provide stimulation for young people.
Absolutely.
Productive stimulation. We're meant to give them safe spaces, safe places.
Absolutely.
To hang out and chill. You know, we're meant to be doing all that and we don't. You know, you can only look in poor neighbourhoods and you see their park, broken swing, concrete everywhere. There's no grass, there's no community projects going on, there's no youth centre. You know, and then there's all these stipulations that don't allow you to build community centres for particular communities.
And mentally, even that sometimes when I speak about mental health as well, mentally, I feel like mentally, imagine just as a young child to grow up in environments like that mentally already, that I feel like it damages you mentally because it limits your dreams, it limits your limitations.
Well,
like,
listen, the young black person, and especially for young black boys, when the system treats you as a threat and you've done nothing, that's based on the tone of your skin.
Yeah, how crazy is that?
From a young age, that is going internalized in you. that you are somehow a threat to society, that people cross the street, that people have low expectation or think you're a drug dealer or da-da-da. All of those isms is making us mentally unstable.
Right.
You know, to say, oh, you know, I was watching a stand-up comic the other day, and I got to say, he said a joke. He said, is it American comic? And he said, you know, 2020, finally, black people have depression.
Finally?
He said, no, he said, we've never been diagnosed with depression before. Nobody cared about our depression. We didn't have depression.
To be honest with you, we diagnosed ourselves.
So, you know, and that's the truth. That
love that though. I love that.
Yeah, that all of a sudden now, people looking beyond. Oh, she's just a crazy, you know, Aunt Jemima. Or he's just a crazy old Sam. You know,
now
Uncle Ben's rice. Whatever. You know, then we have beyond that. We've gone beyond that.
It gets deeper now. People know. People are a lot more educated.
Yeah, but also with that mental health system, we've got to be aware of as well, because they're quick to diagnose us without including all of that mafia stuff. That is our post-trauma, our ancestral trauma, that we're still living in systems that are built on that. So don't tell me this system is not institutional. It's built on the back of our ancestors. So yes, we have still got trauma from that. You know, so don't tell me, oh, that's happened 100, 200 years ago. You've never been a slave. I've only ever been a slave. I was born in the city. I was born in London town. I've only ever been a slave, because, you know, it's a different form of slavery. You know, they make you feel like you're independent.
Absolutely.
But there's no independence, because there's only a limit to jobs that you can get, because it's visual. You know, so for a black woman like me, or black people in general in Britain, with a bit of education, you've got a couple of O-levels or something, they're going to push you into the service industry. And when I say service, healthcare. If you look on the Voice newspaper in the back, you will see 1 million jobs in the healthcare caring industries. We are all the auxiliary nurses, we're the home care, we're the you know, care in the community. We're all the specialist teachers. We're those, and there are hundreds of jobs.
Do you think it's designed
like
or?
Oh yeah, we're allowed to be those.
Yeah.
Like if you have middle class aspirations, you can be a care assistant. You could be a social worker. Wow. I remember my actual in 1980.
Yeah.
I had my leaving school, you know, careers teacher.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, well, what do you want to be?" And I said, "A lawyer." I was just flippant. I made it up that day. You know, you change every day. I was like, you know, an actor, a singer, a dancer, a lawyer. So that day I was a lawyer. Yeah. So I said, a lawyer, and he went, "Oh, don't you think you're setting your expectations too high? Maybe you should be a social worker." That's what he said to me. I was 12 years old or 13 years old.
Can you imagine those kind of things? Even going
and he said that to me like he was genuinely giving me a bone. You know, he was giving me something. It was giving me something. Not
Can you imagine that? Can you actually imagine that?
And I had this girlfriend, Sophie. Hi, Sophie, right?
Hello, Sophie. I hope you're good.
Yeah, and she had gone in to see him after me. So we're waiting to say, "Oh, what did he say to you?" Yeah. And she went in there and she said, "Oh, I'm gonna, you know, get on a train and backpack around Europe playing my guitar, you know, and just see some of the world." And he had shot off and said, "Oh, that's fantastic. You should do that. Then you have something to offer when you come back and go to university." And he was just like on her. Yeah. Right? Because, you know, Sophie Wright was white.
I was going to say that.
And quite middle class.
Yeah, I was going to say
And because her parents were both teachers, so she was a bit posh.
Okay.
And, well, her voice, her accent, it wasn't as, you know, East London as mine.
Yeah.
And so he had a totally different,
Yeah.
you know, same with her, and two other of our friends as well. And I remember us all, you know, gathering round and saying what they had said to us. And mine was definitely the worst. And like they were outraged. I remember two of them going, "What? What? What?" I mean, they were really shocked.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that they, you know, and that was every day for us, you know. Oh, people like you don't do that. We don't get jobs like that, even, you know,
Can
our
you even
own
say
people
like you don't do that? Like, that's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the health sector, yeah?
Okay.
you know, like, you know, like usually people say, yeah, like, obviously you got, like I said earlier, people who go gym to work out for the health and people who eat healthy.
Yeah.
I really want us to be very specific, yeah? Are you really telling us, because you said again, like you said a lot of interesting things, yeah? One of the other things as well that you said that you can literally eat healthy and you don't need to go to gym. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Could you break that down to us as well? Because I'm not gonna. I love that, you know.
I don't want to encourage no motion,
Of course,
because motion is important. It's very important for especially melanated people.
Yeah.
You see every African always dancing. Yeah, it's a very important movement. It's for our body, our spirit, our organs, you know. So don't think I'm telling people to lead
not working out.
Yeah. Non-movement life.
Yeah.
No.
No,
The thing is, but just changing your diet alone, the foods you eat, from processed to natural, you're going to shed weight. You're going to shed weight. You know, just that. From I'm not even saying forget meat and cheese yet. I'm just saying go from processed to natural. You're going to lose weight. Then when you get to just natural food and home cooking, then breaking down the unhealthy fats, the meats, the dairy, and taking that out, you're going to shed weight again. So this is what I mean by you don't have to exercise if you're really transitioning from a processed food lifestyle to a natural food lifestyle.
I'm with you.
That alone is a detox. That alone,
you heard that, guys,
will get you shedding weight. And you know, people think they have to make all these extreme changes. You don't. You can make very small changes, but make them lasting. So, like people that have addictions to ketchup or mayonnaise and things like that, they're unnecessary. They're fatty and full of preservatives and things, and they have no nutrition quality in them.
For real.
So, get rid of them things. You know, take them off, because that's a little bit you're having on every meal. You know, people that have addictions to that, they have ketchup on everything. They have, you know, mayonnaise on everything. They have this. So, like, getting rid of them little things, they help to clear up your palate. Once your palate is clear, you don't want all these flavors. It's too much. When your palate is dirty, you need a lot of flavor, because you've got no buds tasting anything.
Okay.
That's why you put more salt. That's why you put more spice. That's why you put more garlic. That's why you put more onion. And all of those things to give it flavor, because your palate is completely, you know, uncollaborated.
How long? I know a quick question as well. You see, like in terms of cleaning up your palate. How long does it if you got like a certain amount of, like, I don't know, weeks or days to take?
Listen, you can fast for 36 to 48 hours. And you can recalibrate your palate.
Wow.
In that time.
Wow.
And when I say fast, I mean kneel by mouth, except water. I don't mean, I'm having tea in the morning. No. Your digestive system has to be disengaged.
Amazing.
That it's not working. For the healing to take place. You know? And the first thing you'll notice is white, firm tongue, because your tongue will start eliminating toxins instantly when you're not putting food there. It start coming up in the morning. You have to scrape your tongue and.
Like I said, you know, I got a lot of friends and family who they do different things. Like I said earlier, you know, to escape, and I'm one of them. You know, like I said, with my smoking and stuff like that, and you know how it is sometimes. like I say, people use certain things to, to cope with stress, to cope with depression or whatever. You know what I mean? And I feel like people like you, honestly, like you're very, very important for our society, man. I really mean it, for our community, because it's like you're giving people, different options, basically. Different options to look after themselves, to heal themselves. Because I feel like, once again, I've got no beef with hospitals, but I feel like you're the real hospital, man. People like you are the real healers,
Oh,
honestly.
thank
No,
you.
I actually mean that.
That's
You're
so
the real
lovely.
healers. You can't say it, because I feel like, honestly, man, like there's, I don't know why. What do you feel like? What do you think some of us here? Why do you think like some people, that when we're going through stress and all of these things, why do you feel like some of us, rather than going for healthy options, we go for things that even make our bodies worse or make us, do you go to say worse, like alcohol and smoking and
Yeah,
all of these
well,
things?
it's
Why
a
do you
quick
think that?
cure. The quick cure. Everyone wants a quick cure. Like, what I found is the number one difficulty people have facing
Yeah,
is emotional issues.
yeah,
No one wants to deal with uncomfortable emotions. Yeah, I'm not talking about comfortable emotions.
yeah,
Uncomfortable emotions,
yeah.
where there's been trauma, where there's been pain, where there's upset,
Mm.
hurt, loss, whatever it is. That them emotions that stir in us will lead us to self-soothe. So just like when we were babies sucking the thumb or whatever, we turn to something to alleviate the emotions that are
Right,
surfacing.
right.
So you can do that for quite a while.
Mm.
And you're surfing, so instead of dealing with your emotions, Friday night comes, drink with the lads, drink until,
Joy!
yeah, you forget, or a smoke. If it's ganja, a lot of us are self-medicating.
Self-medication.
It might be ganja, it might be snorting. This is London, big city
Of
life,
course.
So
Of course, there's a lot of different things people
people
use.
are using drugs recreationally in abundance. Yeah, it's a big city life, big city escapism.
And I think because of the pandemic, sorry to even cut you, I think personally I might be wrong, but I feel like even with certain alcohols and certain things like that over the last year and a half because of the pandemic and what people have been going through, I think even certain people have got even worse in terms of indulging.
Well, I think maybe some people got worse because the fear mongering was immense. And so people buy into that and they don't realise they're being triggered to be, panicking
Absolutely,
and chaos.
and to try to slow down, to try to slow down the
and
anxiety.
all the other worries. If you're not working and you had money issues, it's all a toppling effect.
Absolutely,
so all of that would have made their health go down because stress leads to imbalance, and psychological imbalance allows you to get sicker quicker. Really, because until I had the psychological imbalance, I was still able to work and keep looking after people, even though I weren't looking after myself. But the minute that I couldn't, it all went to pot. It all went to pot. My health fell apart. So, you. The thing about self-soothing, there's nothing wrong with it. And we're taught that it's wrong. So people feel bad that, I'm turning to comfort eat rather than deal with the emotions. The thing is, if the emotions are really bad, and some people have had really traumatic things happen to them, it's understandable that you don't want to deal with it. It's understandable that you try to avoid it. All those things are normal. But we make ourselves bad and guilty and ashamed because we couldn't do it, and other people seem to manage it, but we can't manage it. We can't cure our problems, but we can. The real deal is about facing them, and the other thing is about asking for help. Two of the hardest things to do.
Tell me about it.
Admit you have a problem psychologically, like mentally or spiritually. And ask for help.
Those two are powerful.
Yeah, they're the two blocking bits. So people will try things to escape and manage it that way, but at some point you get fed up of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I seen people, and I know people still that are still using recreation
Of
drugs.
course.
They've been using them for 30, 40 years.
Of course,
They're
this is
still
reality.
out. They're in their
know?
50s and 60s. They're still snorting,
Wow.
partying, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. And these things happen.
And people are dropping. People are dropping literally.
Mm.
You know, it's a sudden death. Oh, he died of a heart attack in his sleep.
Yeah, wow. Really?
Or, yeah. Or she died. They don't even tell you sometimes. They just died. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Does anyone know how he died?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
No, we're at the funeral. They're still not saying.
Yeah.
Maybe drug related. Maybe, you know, alcohol and things related. So, you know, the thing is, people don't actually talk about it, and it's a big secrecy thing. You know, like black community, they're often like they have this black community secrets that we don't share with people outside of the community. And drug use is one of them. And I find amongst, I don't want to just say my friends and make them all guilty, but amongst people that I've grown up with and I know in London, they're all users, and a lot of them are users. And some of the most surprising people, you know, little butter wouldn't melt in their mouth, girls and guys. You know, and they're on it. They hold down jobs. They're you know, they're working. They maintain their money. They're functional addicts.
I was gonna say, you just literally took that word out my mouth. Functioning addicts. It's absolutely crazy what people do behind closed doors, isn't it? In their own personal, private space. It's absolutely crazy,
But
man.
it's not just personal and private, because they take it to the club and the pub and at the weekend.
So, if they do that, then that's
then you know. You
Yeah.
know. Like, you can go in an East End pub or, you know, a popular one.
Yeah.
And you just watch the toilets. Just watch the toilets and see how many people's going in there and how long they're spending in there.
Yeah.
And when they're coming out, makeup reapplied and a new drink. And it's not just girls as guys, you know, and it's all over. It's rampant. It's rampant. It's like the 80s in New York. That's how rampant coke was in the 80s in New York.
You know how crazy that is?
It's not, New York isn't like that anymore. You know, my friends in New York, you know, they're like, oh, no one does coke anymore. We're big adults, you know. Yeah. But here they're still using it in abundance, you know, and all age groups. And it's something that if you talk about publicly, like probably will happen to me, people will, you know, when I run into certain heads, they're going to be like, you know, what are you doing, exposing us? Yeah. I haven't said no names.
Exactly. It's not, you're not even really exposing them. Like, exactly. We're just having a general conversation, and exactly, you're not saying names. You're not saying he, she, they.
It's normal life in big cities. Exactly. It's not just London. You know, it's Paris, it's Italy, it's LA, it's New York,
Germany, Russia, a lot of
different places. You know, the higher the market or the wealthier the place, the better quality drugs they have. Absolutely. That's all. Yeah. And the better quality places. Yeah. So they might have a marble table and a yacht. Yeah. You know, and they're snorting a line. Yeah. And someone on a house in the state is in the you know, in the stairwell. You know, stepped on peck on or something. You know.
Literally.
But this is something we need to talk about.
Absolutely.